Oh lord, I'm gonna attempt something new for once. So, hello, it is me, but in bar form. And I wanna talk about something. I wanna talk about relationships. I think I wanna talk about relationships in regard to VRChat, right? And it's a topic talked about before, and I think there are some valid points in having a relationship in VRChat, and there are also some valid points in the negative stuff with having a relationship in VRChat. I think that a lot of people know that having a relationship in VRChat usually leads to heartbreak. That is like the sad statistic about relationships. I mean, in general, actually, but especially in VRChat, from what I've heard, right? I see it in forums, I see it in videos, I see it from friends. It's very tragic and very sad. Ugh, yes. But I figured I ought to talk about my experiences. I have been in relationships, like 3 relationships, and 2 of them from VRChat. And I want to talk like about how I view dating someone from VRChat, right? And I think it's important to mention that there are ways to use VRChat to date in a healthy way, right? You don't have to view VRChat as this like negative way to meet and connect to people. Because the funny thing about VRChat is that it's really good at making you connect to people. It's just also very good at making you connect to people that are not good for you, right? So, what are my thoughts on VRChat and dating? Well, my thoughts begin with some points, and the first point I'll say is that whenever you're dating someone, and I know this is just standard stuff probably, but like whenever you're dating someone, the first thing you gotta do is make sure that you have the same goals, the same end goals. Okay, you wanna marry them, gotta make sure they wanna marry you, right? If that's your end goal, you can't force a marriage on someone. That's just gonna lead into fucked up shit later on, right? It's just gonna make your partner not happy. Do you really want to make your partner not happy? If you do, I don't know if you really should be dating people. I feel like you should have some self-reflection about, how you treat people then. Anyhow, so first of all, have the same goal, right? That goes from abstract to more specific, right? It's not easy to be like, oh, have the same goal, right? But if you notice that you have a goal and they have a goal and they're not aligned, that is a clear sign to talk about that. And if you cannot come, to a common ground there, it's not gonna work. It's just as rough it might sound, as much as you love that person and their personality and stuff, if they want different things out of the relationship with you and you do not want to give that to them, or if you want different things out of that relationship and they are never gonna give that to you, and that matters a lot to you, and whatever they want matters a lot to them, and you can provide that or don't want to provide that, like if that's not compatible, a lot points to you guys not working out in the long run, right? Because this is not about flings. A relationship isn't about flings. That's just that's a different thing, right? A fling is a different thing, right? We're talking about long-term, turn to dust type of relationships, right? You want to be able to date someone. You want to feel loved. You want to live with them and whatever the fuck else, right? Like, you gotta have the same goal, okay? That is number 1. I feel like same goals, and that comes in other forms too, like boundaries for like sex, romance, hobbies, all that stuff, right? But like at the core end of it all, where do you two want to end up? And if that's not compatible, that is a red flag, okay? So yes, a lot of problems arise from you and this person not having the same goals, or just not being able to fulfill that, right? And you might be like, oh, I can fix them, or they can fix me, or something. maybe, but I don't think so. I don't think that that's gonna happen. That's wishful thinking. And if you rely on someone like that, I think that what you need is not a relationship, but rather a therapist, okay? Until you get that stuff, solved. And that's coming from me, of all people. So yeah, no. First of all, have the same goal. And you might be like, yeah, okay, well, whatever. We have the same goal, but it still didn't work out or something, right? Yeah, and the second thing I'm gonna talk about is when you're dating someone like via VRChat, do not have it be your primary way to interacting with them, or at least like interact with them in a different way. You gotta be able to interact in a different way, because the more of this, the more superficial it gets. Because believe it or not, as much as you might think you know this person, when they're constantly behind an avatar and shit, Like, it's an avatar. People, I mean, I try and be authentic, right, to myself, because I'm autistic like that. But I know that a lot of people, and this is not shitting on people, I'm just saying that in general, people tend to have a persona, with their fursona or whatever sona, right? Like, they have a way that they want to be like, but it's not how they interact IRL, right? So the problem there is that, like, just you like an idea of your partner or whatever, right? That isn't true, that they cannot fulfill whenever you actually, get together. So even if you got the first part done, like, oh, you both want to move to this country or whatever the fuck, you guys want to do this, right? Like, okay, cool. If you both only interact via VRChat and you don't have like voice calls, night calls, whatever, like, you don't have anything else, you don't play games together, you don't listen to music together, you don't talk outside of VRChat, you're gonna fall into this like trap of like, oh yeah, my partner is this cute little goat or something, right? Or this whatever, right? Like, you're gonna fall into this trap of thinking, this is what my partner is. Yes. But then when you see them online, or rather when you see them IRL, you're gonna be like, oh shit, I feel uncomfortable, right? I mean, maybe it's just me, but the first time I saw my first friend ever, I mean online, right? First friend online, and I saw like webcam of them. I had known them for like years, right? Or something. I had known them for quite some time, and then finally saw them via webcam because you're kids and you're poor and shit. Like, okay, I get to see their face now. And it's like, seeing their face was so alien because I did not associate their voice with this image, right? And it's the same way with like VRChat, right? Because if you make this only VRChat, you're gonna get disconnected from their real self, which is, as much as you either love it or hate it, it's their IRL self. You gotta love who they are IRL, right? Otherwise, it'll just be superficial, right? Like, you might wish to be a goat. I know I can wish to be a goat. I wish I looked like this, or like a dog, whatever, right? Like, I wish that shit. It would be great. But alas, I'm not. And I am me. And like, whoever I'm dating, I would hope that they accept that, as much as they would hope that I accept who they are. And I think that's also a thing, right? People, they get lost in the sauce, the furry sauce, or you don't even have to be a furry. You can just be dating in general, right? Dating in general, and find out that, man, this person, either personality wise when I'm, IRL with them, or just visually, they're just not appealing to me. And then you break it off. And that just sucks, right? You gotta be realistic about these things and be like, okay, same goals, okay, cool. And then you gotta be able to interact with them outside of your chat, because you need that realism, right? If you have an end goal of like being together, which I feel like, is a very realistic end goal, like, okay, you guys wanna like move together or something, right? Like, that's fucking cool. But like, if that's your end goal, you gotta make sure that you can both, exist together then, like, oh, you love each other, you love how each other looks and sounds and all these things. And I think that kind of brings me to the third point a bit. So as I touched in like the second point, it has to be more than just VRChat. My third point is that even if you have voice calls, even if you text, even if you play games, even if you do all sorts of things outside of VRChat, right? You need to meet IRL. You need to meet IRL, because no relationship lasts digitally like that without meeting IRL. Because meeting IRL is like the ultimate way to getting to know your partner, right? Because if you do not meet each other IRL, there will be aspects that you do not explore, right? Like, what if they're angry? What if they're sad? What happens if this and this and this, and how do you feel about that on those reactions, right? You do not get those things if you never see each other IRL. You need to be able to see each other IRL, because if you see each other IRL, you can see how you work together, right? And you need to be able to see how you work in a public setting and in a, you and them setting, right? And also, when you meet someone IRL, please don't be like, okay, I'm gonna move to them and marry them type beat. No, you gotta like be sensible people about this. Move to, like, don't even move anywhere. Just go to a con, a fur con, a comic con, whatever. Go to a public event somewhere where you both can attend. Meet there. Have 2 separate hotels for the safety, you know. And if it hits up well, you guys can meet up in one of your hotels and be like, yeah, let's spend the night there this night on this bed and stuff and have fun or something, right? Like, do not just put all your eggs in a basket and be like, yeah, I'm gonna move to America now, or I'm gonna move to the Netherlands, or I'm gonna move to the fucking this place or this place or this place or this place. Like, do not do that. You need to be safe, take care of yourself, and do not just chance everything that you've done prior just because you have emotions and feelings towards someone. They might be real emotions, you might feel great things about someone, but if you do not work well IRL, then it doesn't matter about the digital stuff. I guess that's better. My third point is, if you do not work well IRL, then the digital stuff is kind of pointless. So the digital stuff matters, of course, but just like, what's, you're never gonna see each other, really? That's gonna be your whole relationship dynamic. Sure, okay, but if you actually do care about advancing this relationship, it's like, do you not get lonely? Do you not want to hug them? I know of people that get so touch starved that they end up going behind their partner and doing shit, and ooh, whoops, now it's all blown up and that relationship is gone. You know, there are a lot of minds that happen, you know, bodily or not, where you have people IRL close to you were like, oh, you could have sex with them, and you might be like, fuck, I never had sex because my partner lives in this country and we're never gonna meet, right? Or maybe it's just like, oh, I can cuddle with this person, I can kiss this person, can I do these intimate things I cannot do with my partner because they're away. And you might be like, oh, but you know, I have phantom sense or blah 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 blah, and like, I can snuggle them and all these things, but are they really the same as meeting someone IRL? I don't think so. My experience tells me no, it's not the same. I've really tried, like, living off just the VRChat cuddles and stuff, and I mean, it lasts for a bit, I'll give you that, it does help, but it's like just this temporary relief, and you just need more and more, and eventually you're like a chronic VRChatter, and it's like all that ever consumes your life. You should have more to your life than just being in VRChat. VRChat is cool, it's awesome. It's like, you need more to your life than that. Yeah. Okay.